Monday. Happy Halloween, apparently. I wouldn't know. I don't care. So by now you heard about the attack on Paul Pelosi. A suspect's in custody. Apparently he was a homeless illegal alien. He lived in an old yellow school bus. No truth to the rumor. It was Danny Partridge. But don't knock a yellow school bus. We know how wonderful those things are.
Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? Just, there's something about the, and most of us, many of us went to school on the yellow school bus, right? And it's part of our experience growing up.
So true. She loves school buses almost as much as she loves Venn diagrams. Meanwhile, in the media, you have Dems and talking heads, like there's any difference, desperately trying to make this about right-wing hate. Like people on the right were always saying, hey, you got to go attack Nancy's husband with a hammer and don't wear pants.
He was yelling out the things that we heard during January 6th, which is, where is Nancy?
That's what the intruders going through the hallways on January 6th were shouting, Nancy, Nancy. This is part of the January 6th insurrection.
This has been going on for years. The attacks on her and this group of MAGA extremists have been not ending when Donald Trump left office.
Yes. This is part of January 1st. It's MAGA extremists behind this because they always attract illegal alien nudists who live in school buses who think they're Jesus Christ. Hell. Of course, the media can't be dumb enough to blame this on campaign ads, right?
Looking at your candidates, Republican candidates have spent more than $116 million on ads that mention Speaker Pelosi by name in this cycle. If this is about the issues, why don't you make it about the issues? Why not depersonalize it? In this moment, we are 8 days out. Don't you think this needs to change? Why not pull some of these ads? Why not just delete your tweet?
Why not delete your brain? Oh, you should stop the ads just 8 days out. How? What a coincidence that you would use this for that suggestion. Do these people think before they say anything? Margaret, when will CBS depersonalize their content? Maybe start with young Sheldon. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is. Or how about Colbert, who's done nothing but say uncivil stuff about Republicans? How many attacks did he cause? But see, I would never suggest that because I'm not a idiot. All right. I'm sorry. I haven't had a lot of sleep. I got a puppy and I'm not awake. But the people freaking out, of course, never did so after Scalise got shot, Brett Kavanaugh was almost assassinated, Lee Zeldin was attacked, a Trump supporter was run down and murdered. And remember how many jokes were made about Rand Paul getting his ribs broken? Ha, ha, ha. Those attacks disappeared, just like Jon Stewart and phone cards. Yeah, it's the Republicans that they call Nazis who are causing a lack of civility. But I get it, anything for an election, and the Dems are losing, which means some might have to get real jobs, and Democrats hate jobs. But remember, never let a crisis go to waste, even if it's someone's dented skull. That's why even with COVID, the Dems are forgiving student loans. See, nothing is ever connected. It's just exploited. But even without an election, they'd probably do the same damn thing. They cherry-pick the psycho's political positions to pretend he's conservative, you know, like Liz Cheney used to do. What, did he compare her to him? Yeah, I hope so. I hope you think that, you idiot. Meanwhile, Republicans focus on crime. Home invasions are up, as are murders, rapes, and robberies. And in places where politicians advocated defunding the cops. You can call that a political take, too, except this one is rooted in reality. I suppose Republicans could have made up stuff as well, like there was a wooden gavel found at the scene with chocolate Haagen-Dazs ice cream on the handle. But they didn't. And so the media screeches like Kamala having her feet tickled. How dare you bring up violent crime, even after a violent crime is committed? Right. If you righties continue this fact-based, we're going to smack all of you with hammers. So you're only supposed to talk up violent crime for fake violent crimes. So there are lessons here, but politicians and the media, they aren't interested. It's about only political outcomes. Last week, it was pretending John Fetterman's brain worked. Now it's the Pelosi attack was MAGA, January 6th. And hate speech, it's a constant threat because it's code for criticizing Democrats. But as long as they win in November, then nothing ever needs fixing. And that's why the criminally deranged are still on the street. That's why this happened. There's nowhere for the mentally ill to go. And bottom line, if Pelosi had just been another victim, who knows if they'd even give a damn at all about this? If it was just an Asian lady, we'd likely be told beating people with a hammer is a misdemeanor. And the media helps by amplifying the fake origin to avoid the real one, which is the mental health crisis, which goes ignored like Joy Behar's sex strike. California's state logo should be a bear in a straitjacket. And with all the homeless encampments, their new state motto should be the Golden Shower State. Their state bird, a $1.7 million toilet. I know it's not a bird, but they don't have a state appliance. So the suspect was a homeless psychotic, like tens of thousands on the streets. And they're a danger to you, but now also to politicians' spouses. The things that happened to everyone else finally happened to someone who matters, the husband of the speaker. He's not a cop, a retiree, or a student. He's rich and powerful. And if they throw the book at the suspect, they sure as hell better do the same for every other felon. Because this is a crime and it's time for punishment, and not just for the important victims, but for everyone. But with Dems, will they care? The perp already served a purpose. He gave Biden something to talk about between lying about gas prices and lying that he was raised by Puerto Ricans. So a mentally deranged, drug-abused, naked nutbag finds his way into the Pelosi home, and the media stops at one talking point, which is their idea of investigative reporting. But like so many crime victims, Paul and Nancy may never be the same. Maybe it's time to move to Florida. Let's welcome tonight's guests. When she calls shotgun, that means she's going to kill an antelope. Host of Luxury Hunting Lodges of America on Fox Station, Katie Pavler. She's less welcome in Hollywood than an addiction counselor. Former Trump Deputy Assistant Secretary Amanda Milius. They say you should dress for the job you want, so you must want to be unemployed. Founder of the LoftusParty.com, Michael Loftus. And finally, Halloween skeletons call her bony. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. Amanda, nice costume.
Thank you.
Yes, who are you going as?
I was told it was Halloween and that we were having a Halloween party.
Well, the only two people that showed up, you showed up as a skeleton and Michael Loftus showed up as Katie Lang.
I guess we're the only ones.
If you can't show a picture of him there, it would be too much work for the director. There you go. Good job, pal. All right, let's talk about this. Do you believe that there is a link to January 6th? A link to...
Always.
Yes.
I mean, you can link anything to January 6th.
Yes.
You can link my cat didn't finish its food to January 6th. I personally feel victimized. I'm going to call the FBI, except they're already probably at my house. I mean, there's virtually nothing, no matter how many years go by, that you can't link to January 6th. I mean, it is, first of all, worse than Pearl Harbor, definitely worse than 9/11, even though nobody died, except for one of ours. And it's really just only rivals in mystery that of the Las Vegas shooting. I mean, the pipe bomber just walking around,
Yeah.
you know, bombing places. You know,
we don't know.
We don't know. Could be that could be who went to Nancy Pelosi's house. The FBI should look into this.
There you go. You know, it's true, Loftus, or shall I say KD? Well, let's be in character for you. But,
Before we go,
yes.
I want you to join me for Halloween.
Oh my God.
There you go, buddy. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I feel a lot better knowing that you have more than one of those.
But dude, how many packs of cigarettes you smoke?
7 packs a day.
Oh my God!
Wow.
This smells like Marge Simpson's sisters. I think I'm getting cancer. Oh my God! I'm gonna put this over here.
You're gonna look fantastic.
But it is true. January 6th is the Kevin Bacon of conspiracies,
Well,
right?
they can't stop. Like, no, they just should have left it as a crazy person attacked an innocent man.
Yeah.
And America would have been like, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
But they have to try to, like, not let a crisis go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as they put it on the radar, you start looking at it. And then the more you start looking at it, it's like Pee Wee Herman knitting a cable knit sweater.
Yeah.
It just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. He was a radical nudist.
Yes.
Which, so I guess when he shows up in underwear, that's like respect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? That's
very
that's
nice.
like he went like it was a job interview.
Yeah,
Well,
it's nice of him to
I'm
get
off,
dressed.
honey. I'm off to attack Paul Pelosi.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It would be nice to clear all of this up. So that's why I'm going to start a GoFundMe so the Pelosis can get a Ring doorbell.
Yeah. It is amazing that they like.
Wouldn't it be nice to see some kind of security
It is,
camera?
but it does. This should be a lesson to them that like they live in a beautiful area in San Francisco. Yeah. They have a beautiful house, and they assume that, to your point, that those windows are easily broken. But they thought like they're well protected. But also the other thing they can't do, they can't talk about crime.
Yep.
Because that feeds into their narrative. That's why they went for the January 6th extreme MAGA. Because if you say, wow, that even the Speaker of the House.
Right.
And
attacked.
it's a horrible time for them to bring up defunding the police.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
'Cause-
first of all, Greg, I can't believe you brought up feet tickling on a late night show. It's a little weird. Also, the suspect, the illegal immigrant fella, the one who broke in with the hammer, he's not acting like a very nice Canadian.
No, that's true.
Very odd behavior for someone from Canada.
Yeah.
But you're right. They can't talk about the issue. It's amazing to watch Margaret Brennan berating a Republican about polling ads during an election for the sake of
8 days
morality,
before.
right? Because that would be the right thing to do. But continue to allow Democrats to run their ads, which I'm sure have no insinuation of anything about going after Republicans or mentioning Kevin McCarthy, for example.
It's a threat to
in his ads.
democracy.
It is a threat to democracy. But she also misses the point when she says, isn't this about the issues? It is about the issues. It's about crime. And they can't talk about it because they've been indicted on their own ideology, which they refuse to change. They believe in allowing criminals to roam the streets unless they're breaking into someone's house who deserves protection. And I think what you're saying about things getting weirder and weirder, I don't buy that there wasn't security. I think we're going to learn a lot more about what happened outside of the house. I mean, it's a little strange that if January 6th was that serious, that they didn't have full security outside the Pelosi home.
Maybe they just didn't have security because she wasn't there. That could be it. And maybe he doesn't like security. Who knows? I don't want to get into their private lives. God knows mine's screwed up. Kat, what about this whole thing about the mental illness thing? This guy is completely bonkers. He's got no consistent political ideology.
Right.
You know, he's almost a libertarian.
Libertarian is a consistent ideology.
I know. I just wanted to.
Less government is what I want.
Yes.
Okay?
You lived in a bus too, didn't you?
No, but I spent enough time on one for a few years where, honestly, like more time than anywhere else.
Yes.
So what is lived?
Yes, that is true. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're acting as though this guy is like, he just was a normal guy.
Yeah.
He had a job as like a medical sales rep or something. Then he heard Trump talk.
Yes, exactly.
Then all of a sudden, now he's doing this stuff. Yeah, he said all kinds of crazy stuff. He said Jesus is the Antichrist, he's Jesus, whatever. Like, none of these things are MAGA talking points. This is a crazy person. I also don't think, I don't know how they're spinning this narrative that like anyone's like pro this necessarily, because like they say people refuse to condemn. not condemning something, not posting the tweet that's like, I am saddened and sickened and disgusted, like they're all the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Not doing that doesn't mean that you don't think that way. It just means you didn't tweet it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do that virtual signal, and then no one will like it anyway because they'll say.
Now they're saying because conservatives have been consistent on opposing violence, that it's a method and a cookie cutter version to condemn violence. It doesn't really count now.
Yes, exactly. We just happen to be there first and have been saying it all the way through the riots.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.